can't drink. Line Up for Braves Country by D.M. McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavine. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly, and his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts, a plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez, Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler, Matzik, and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren, Skip Carey 2, Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren, Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young, the game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Rama-Lama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying. It felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves Country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024.
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves country. Kind of a pop-up Braves country today because of the time of the game and rushing home from work. I didn't want to be just kind of pushed into doing one of those lives that we normally do. So what we did was recorded this shortly before the show began. In fact, the show's probably actually going to be rolling a little bit while I put this together so that we could do two things at once. But essentially, we're going to go over real quick. We're going to make this real short and sweet and get you ready for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Remember, it's a 7:40 game tonight because it's in Minnesota, so it's a little different. But we'll get, like I said, we'll keep this short and sweet. The Atlanta Braves come in off yet another series win. And so when it's all said and done, yeah, you always have a sour taste in your mouth right after a series loss. It's just kind of, but I don't know what it is with me. Maybe it's just being a fan for so long. It feels better when you've already won that series on Saturday night, and then you feel like you're playing with house money. Yeah, it is important to win every game, and you get that, but it's very difficult to sweep a team in Major League Baseball because everything's got to go right. And the Braves were looking to rest some guys in the bullpen, evidently, because yesterday afternoon's game, was an utter disaster. Once again, Luke Jackson coming in and absolutely spitting the bit. And I'm at a point now where I can't defend. And look, I was a Luke Jackson fan back in the day, back in 2021. I was also as loud as anybody. If anybody followed our CBS radio show in the late 2010s going into 2020, I was as loud as anybody that was an anti-Luke Jackson. Oh, my God, I used to kill him. And then he turned it around in 2021, and he was a part of the night shift. So there's a part of that kind of makes you a made man in Braves country. But I still believe that you got to earn what you do. You got to earn your keep, especially in the world of sports. That's why sports is the best. Luke Jackson went out there and threw a third of an inning, gave up 2 earned runs, and was an absolute disaster, throwing wild pitches in the dirt. And I know a lot of us have sat there and given Sean Murphy a hard time for his defensive play. You look at those curveballs. I mean, they are diving into the dirt and ricocheting. It's like trying to block a machine gun. It's impossible. So Luke Jackson, to me, wears that loss. And much like last year with Colin McHugh, I understand the value of Luke Jackson to eat innings down the stretch. But I also believe if the game is on the line, I don't want him anywhere near the game. If we're in a game where we're trailing, that's the ideal. I don't really want one where we're up by 5 or 6 runs. If we're trailing, we're down by 2 or 3 runs, what the hell, throw him out there and live to fight another day. But Luke Jackson's not going to be on the playoff roster. You can guarantee that. If Luke Jackson's on the playoff roster, then Snicker and company have got a lot of questions to answer. But once again, our offense stunk. Our offense didn't get anything going. I mean, 1 run, 3 hits, and Look, I talked about it on the series preview. The DJ Hurts was a damn good young southpaw that the Braves were going to face. And he went out and had a very good game. But at the same, two things can be true at the same time. He pitched a very good game, but our offense also just it's not getting it done. And they're giving away at bats, et cetera, et cetera. 1 run and 3 hits at home on a chance to sweep against the Washington Nationals is just unacceptable. But if you look at the big picture of the series, Atlanta won 2 tight games and then lost a tight game. We lost 5-1, but the game was in the balance in the 7th. So anytime a game is tied at that point, I have to kind of look at that as a close loss or a close win either way. It doesn't matter if you eventually pull away. It's the fact that the game was nip and tuck down the stretch. We pulled it out in Friday and Saturday, but there comes a point in time where you can't keep going to the well of these bullpen guys that are getting it done because they're wore out. And that's the conundrum that they were in. There were a couple other options they could have went to there. They didn't have to go to Luke Jackson at that point on Sunday's game. They chose to give him another chance. And by the way, can we go ahead and address the fact he stinks on Sunday afternoons? I mean, remember that was the whole meltdown in Colorado. Keep him off Sunday afternoons. I don't want to see Luke Jackson in a ball game on Sunday afternoons. Now, if Atlanta goes out and gets a huge lead tonight, you want to put him in there for an inning? Okay. But the first sign of trouble, let's get him the hell out of there. If we're in a game that we're down a couple of runs late in the game and they say, hey, we don't want to waste Iglesias, we don't want to waste Jimenez, et cetera, I get that. Because especially with not having A.J. Minter now, you're kind of in a situation where you don't want to waste those bullets out of your gun at this point, this stage in the season, trying to chase down a win you may not get because the offense has sputtered so poorly. So, the big takeaway, I thought it was a good series, a solid series when you want to win at home. You're coming off the momentum of winning the Philadelphia series. You're coming off the momentum of winning 2 road series, a 4-game series in San Francisco where you won 3, a 3-game series in Los Angeles where you won 2. You come home, you take 2 or 3 from the Phils, and you take 2 or 3 from Washington. 4 series in a row. That's to that at that point. You feel a lot better about this team than you did going into that San Francisco series. You know, the great thing about baseball is you can have a short-term memory loss and forget how poorly we were playing. Remember, we lost the last 2 games against the Miami Marlins at home, then got swept. And didn't just get swept. We got pounded at home by the Milwaukee Brewers. And then we went out to Colorado and lost 2 or 3, and one of those games should have been a damn win. That was the Luke Jackson meltdown in Colorado. We came off of that, and now we've won 4 series in a row, and that's not nothing. So, at this point, you got to feel good about where you're at. Now, we're going into a very tough road trip. It's only a 6-game road trip, but it's a very tough road trip. You've got Minnesota. You got Philadelphia. It's a 7-game series, or 7-game trip. 3-game series with Minnesota, 4 with Philly. And all-night games, which means the crowds will be into it. You're not going to be able to just sneak through. And when we're looking at, we'll do the Philly series, and we'll do a true Braves Country Today for the Philly series. That is scheduled for, I don't know if we've put the show card up yet for it, but the game plan is going to be to do that Thursday around lunchtime, either 11 or noon. It really depends on a couple of obligations. I've got to jump over into a couple of radio shows across the country that want to talk a little football and a little baseball. So it depends on what time they've got me in. But I'll have that answer for you by Wednesday night. So Country Club members, you'll get the Braves Country Today will come to you live sometime around lunchtime on Thursday. And then the Philly series, remember, that's an early start, 6:40 Thursday and Friday night. And once again, we'll remind you several times this week, the Saturday night game, the Fox game, that is going to be the chat game this week. We'll put the chat up over on Comfort Country Radio. Sunday night, the ESPN game, we're going to do it pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play. And there's a couple of big reasons. One, Saturday is the kickoff of college football. We just figured a lot of folks are going to be locked into that, and there's a lot less stuff going on Sunday night. And then the other thing is, we've talked about this before, if I'm going to do one or the other and it'll work with my schedule, I prefer to do the game when ESPN's doing it, because a lot of folks just do not like the ESPN broadcast. They don't like any of it. So that's the other deciding factor. So we've got this 7-game series, and then we come home again. And we will have Monday off, Labor Day off, kind of lick our wounds. So I think with Atlanta, what you're going to see in this 3-game series, because just knowing Snicker and knowing what the Braves mentality is, they are most likely going to be somewhat conservative on the back end of this Minnesota series with the bullpen, because the Philadelphia series falls behind. I believe the Philadelphia series, you're going to see guns a-blazing. So, in a perfect world, Wednesday night is Chris Sale night. In a perfect world, he goes out there and deals 7-8 innings. The offense takes care of business, and we don't use anybody of note in the bullpen on Wednesday night. That is the advantage of not having Sale go against Philly. I've said this several times before, and I still believe it. Sale is not pitching against Philadelphia because the Braves don't want Philly to see Sale until we have to face them possibly in the playoffs. Because if we go into another 5-game series against Philly, and it's a very good chance that that's who we would play if we came out of the first round, they know Sale would be the guy they would probably want to have go twice. And the less times that Philly sees him now, the better. So that's got a lot to do with it. They've seen Max Fried a million times. They've seen Charlie Morton a million times. It's not going to hurt you to throw them out there. They haven't seen Lopez much or Schwellenbach, and I get the more they see it. But, at some point, you can't hide everybody. But tonight it's Max Fried versus Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober is a good, solid pitcher. He's not going to blow you away with what you're going to see from him, but he's a solid pitcher. His ERA is much lower than Max Fried. You got a guy who's basically one of the better right-handers in the American League. He's a young guy, and he is a guy that is a strikeout guy. He's got 145 through 140 innings. So that's what we're looking at on that. On the other end of it, we're looking at the rest of the series. What we have is the rest of the series. So we just talked about what the Braves are going to be doing. It'll be Fried, it will be Lopez, and then Fried, Schwellenbach, and Sale. Morton and Lopez will begin your Philly series. But Fried, Schwellenbach, and Sale. For all intents and purposes, those are our 3 best pitchers right now. Now, Lopez pitched a good game on Sunday, but he is still coming back from his injury. But as of right now, that could be your 1, 2, 3 in the playoffs. They'll probably do Lopez, but we'll see what happens. So you get an opportunity to win this series. The Schwellenbach matchup versus Woods-Richardson on Tuesday night, I really believe that Schwellenbach's the better pitcher. but how many guys have seen Woods Richardson? Now, he has absolutely gotten pounded. He's also spun gems. So we don't know what we're going to get out of him. In the Wednesday night game, Sale versus Festa, we definitely have an advantage there. Festa was really shoved out of their bullpen into the starting rotation out of need, and he's a guy I've watched him pitch a few times. He's got a wiry, and he's got some stuff that kind of explodes out of his hands, but he's all over the damn place, and he works himself into trouble pretty quickly. The 3 games that I've watched Festa pitch this year, he hasn't gotten out of the 5th inning. So, with that being said, this game tonight could be the difference on whether or not we win the series, because I expect both pitchers to pitch well tomorrow night. I expect Sale to have the upper hand on Wednesday night. Tonight, sounds weird, but Max Fried is there's a reason why we're an underdog in Vegas. It's because Ober has pitched well recently. Fried has been up and down, but this Braves offense, that's going to be the key to the series. It's going to be key tonight. What do they get in? Michael Harris II, once again, is not in the lineup, and that doesn't shock anybody. I was pleasantly surprised to see Ozuna, if you saw him get knocked in the knee off his bat. He smacked himself right in the knee, just below the knee in the shin area. They said he had it iced, and this was after yesterday's game. Told reporters that he'll be good to go tomorrow. Ozuna, people can say whatever they want about it. He's a tough son of a gun. I think if that happens to a lot of our other players that we've had over the last few years, they're done for at least the Minnesota series. So I've got a lot of respect that he's going to gut it through, that he's a throwback. He's what you want to see. So I'm going to take the Braves to win this series, and I got to be honest about it. I think we win Wednesday, and I think Monday and Tuesday are a toss-up, and if we win one of those toss-ups, we're going to be okay. And we're going to go into the Philly series, and we're going to face Wheeler. We're going to face Suarez. We're going to face Lopez. The Thursday series, by the way, and we'll get more into this, should be a higher scoring one on the Thursday on Game 1. It's Morton versus Taijuan Walker, and if you haven't followed what Walker's been doing, he's been getting pummeled. Now, he has had some great games against us, but more on that when that comes about. All right, we're going to step aside, get ready for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. All those lineups and all that stuff. Let's get it, Braves country. Predictions and picks to click as we do the lineups.
You're in Braves country.
Like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Polk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone! Ram-a-lam, ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-1 lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
you're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first. And here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night
On beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing second base, it's Whit Merrifield. 4 home runs, 13 RBI, 16 stolen bases, batting .221. Batting second, playing right, Jorge Soler. 16 home runs, 51 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .238. Batting third, the designated hitter, it's Marcell Ozuna. 37 home runs, 94 RBI, a .305 clip. Matt Olson batting cleanup and playing first. A .226 average with 22 home runs, 66 RBI. Travis d'Arnaud is back behind home plate and batting fifth. He has 13 home runs, 43 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .253. Ramon Laureano is in left field and batting sixth. 8 home runs, 17 RBI, 5 stolen bases, batting .240. And Jared Kelenic is patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves. He has 13 home runs, 39 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .236. Gio Urshela is batting eighth and playing third. A .245 clip with 5 home runs, 39 RBI. And batting ninth and manning short, it's Orlando Arcia. He's got a .225 average with 13 home runs, 38 RBI. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Max Fried Day. He's 7-7 with a .357 ERA. A 1.22 whip, 128 innings pitched, 111 hits allowed, 119 strikeouts versus 10 home runs served and 46 walks. He'll be going head-to-head with Bailey Ober. Ober is 12-5 with a 3.54 ERA. A .99 whip, 140 innings pitched, 145 strikeouts versus 104 hits allowed, 34 walks, 19 home runs served. Backing up Bailey Ober in the bottom of the first inning and playing left field, it's Manny Margot. 4 home runs, 29 RBI, 4 stolen bases, batting .242. Batting second, the designated hitter, it's Royce Lewis. 15 home runs, 39 RBI, a .271 clip. Miranda is at third and batting third. 9 home runs, 46 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .299. Santana is at first and batting cleanup. 18 home runs, 55 RBI, 4 stolen bases, batting .237. Kyle Farmer is at second and batting fifth. 1 home run, 19 RBI, 3 stolen bases, batting .192. Willie Castro is in short and batting sixth. He's got 11 home runs, 50 RBI, 12 stolen bases, batting .253. Vasquez is back behind home plate and batting seventh. He's got 7 home runs, 27 RBI, 3 stolen bases, batting .231. And Wallner is in right field and batting eighth. 9 home runs, 25 RBI, 3 stolen bases, batting .262. And in center field and batting ninth, it's Austin Martin. A .258 average, 1 home run, 15 RBI, 7 stolen bases. Calling balls and strikes tonight behind home plate, it's Mark Wegner. Your first base umpire is Clint Vondrick. Jeremy Rehak is manning second base, and down the third base line, it's Bruce Streckman. Game time temperatures tonight, 83 degrees. There's a slight chance of rain tonight, but the forecast has us getting the game in before the thunderstorms roll in. The wind is blowing in from left center field towards first base at about 8 miles an hour. Humidity, 70% here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Your Atlanta Braves are 10 games over 500 at 70-60. Minnesota, 14 over 500 at 72-58. Your Atlanta Braves are plus 105 on the money line. Minnesota, the favorite, at minus 125. The over-under is 7.5. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Twinkies, game 1 of a 3-game set. All 3 games of this series, 7:40 Eastern, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night, before we head into Philadelphia for a crucial 4-game series. Only 3 players in our lineup tonight have faced Bailey Older. Gio Urshela is 3 for 5 lifetime. Kid Kelnick is 1 for 5. Whit Merrifield is 4 for 10. We'll take the ice cream man, Whit Merrifield, to click tonight as he's leading off with the absence of Michael Harris II. Bailey Olber has had a great season, but he will give up the long fly from time to time. Keep an eye on the heart of your Atlanta Braves lineup. We'll take Atlanta to win a low-scoring affair with Mad Max on the bump. Atlanta 4, Minnesota Twins 2. As we come into tonight, 6 games behind Philly in the East, 2.5 up on the Mets for the last wild card spot. We've got the Mad Max emoji kicking in the chat for you Country Club members. Warm up those chop arms, Country Club. Braves Country, get your game face on. We need a series win to keep that momentum heading towards Philadelphia. Good evening, Country Club. Game really got me behind the 8 ball as far as time-wise, so we're flying right into it. We are just about set, and yes, sir, it is baseball time in Braves Country. First pitch on the way. Right there to Merrifield for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty. Bailey Olber kicks and fires. Swing, fouls it back. It's 0-2. Atlanta Braves are wearing their road grays Minnesota blue tops with white pants, Minnesota across the chest, a Miami Marlin type M on the hat, the 0-2. In the dirt, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. We'll sync this up as we go. 1-2 count, kicks and pitch, way outside wide, slider misses, 2-2. Once again, these Atlanta Braves have not seen much of this. The 2-2. Swing, fist it back, foul. We'll do it again. Ober working really quickly. The 2-2. Kicks and fires. Swing, laced into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And the ice cream man is on with 1 on, nobody out. Not 100% sure why you're not seeing batters on the screen if you're watching on the cast, but we don't control that, so we'll be all right. Good leadoff single here. For some reason, we're seeing the pitcher, but we're not seeing the hitter. It's really throwing me off trying to sync this up. That'll bring up Jorge Soler to the plate. First pitch to Soler is right there at the knees. For a strike, it's 0-1. Here we go. We finally got a player kicking. The 0-1. As Soler stands in. He appears to be okay. Braves nothing. Minnesota nothing. Ober comes set. The 0-1. Up top, little outside, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Merrifield at first. The pitch. Right down below the knees. 2-1. Good take by Soler. He'll try to get you to chase that bender down low. More on his repertoire as we go along. So a 2-1 count. Ober, 10th pitch of the inning, brings it. Swing and a miss over the top. 2-2. Think we got ourselves lined up now. Braves nothing. Twins nothing. Top of the first inning. The 2-2 pitch. Turns around, flips it over to first to keep Merrifield close by. Whit Merrifield. We know he will take off when he gets a chance. Good to see you, Beeve. I thought I saw the GOAT in there. AY. Country Club members, Nathaniel Brooks. The 2-2 pitch. Good take. Slider down and away, 3-2. Good to see you, Carrie. I think I see Old World. Mark. Country Club member pushing buttons. Edward Spry. The 3-2 runner goes, pitch down and away, ball 4. He would have had second base stolen by a mile, but instead we'll have runners on first and second. Nobody out in the big zoo. Marcell Ozuna coming to the dish. Good to see you, Robert. Who else have I missed here? I'm trying to scroll through as we do this. Envy, Country Club member. John, Daryl, and his other brother, Daryl. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. We'll know Daryl's age if he caught that one. If he's like, what the hell is he talking about? Gary McCoy. I think that's everybody. Jump into the chat if we missed you. The 1-0 to Ozuna. Ober looks back the runners. The pitch. Outside wide 2-0. Man, this would be big to get some runs on the board on this tough right-hander. Mentioned it in the pregame. He has had times where he struggles, but he is a young pitcher who's really starting to develop into something. The 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-1. I think folks who play fantasy baseball are well aware of him, even if you're not an American League fan. So a 2-1 count. Brings it. Swing. That ball's going to get roasted up the middle. That's going to get down for a base hit. Merrifield will come around the third to score. Merry-go-round makes it 1-0 off the bat of the big zoo. Good piece of hitting by Marcell. Needless to say, I was really watching his at-bat, see how many effects he had on, if y'all missed the game yesterday, Marcell Ozuna fouled one off his leg, right kneecap shin area. So runners on the corners, nobody out. The first pitch on the way to Matt Olson is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Olson. Righty-lefty matchup. The infield is back into the right. Third baseman all by his lonesome Miranda. The 0-1. Swing. Hammers it down the line. Foul. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Braves 1, Twins nothing. The 0-2. Swing. Pops it back. Foul. 91 up against the screen. 1-2. First game of a 3-game set. Then we head to Philadelphia for 4. The 0-2 to Olson. They set up inside. Here's the pitch. Swing. That ball is blasted high. and deep. Going back on the track. Duck, that's heading to a backyard near you. Pay dirt, baby. A 3-run shot. And your Atlanta Braves. 423 happy feet. They've put a 4 spot on the board without a single out recorded. That was a hanger. Looked like that was Ober's cutter, and it went cement mixer into left center, and your Atlanta Braves jumped out to a 4-0 lead. That's what we're talking about right there. First pitch on the way to Darnode is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Ball kind of spun him around. The 1-0. Braves 4, Twins nothing. The 1-0 pitch. 92 inside. 2-0. Not sure what Travis was picking up. He got spun around, and then he headed like he was walking towards home plate, and they changed the view. You couldn't see what he was doing. First, I thought he was going out there to have a tumble with Ober. 2-0, swing and a miss. 2-1. The 2-1 count. Braves lead it 4-0 if you're just joining us. The pitch. Swing. Hammers it foul down the line. 2-2. Looks like we got a country club member added to it. The 2-2. Just outside. Did he go around? He did not. Ball 3-3. So a full count. Ober comes set. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The first out of the evening for your Atlanta Braves. He got the hard stuff up top. By the way, if you're paying attention at home, Bailey Ober is at 26 pitches in. This could have huge ramifications for the rest of the series if we could knock him out early. First pitch on the way to Laureano. Righty. Pitch right there off the edge. Called for a wide strike by Mark Wegner, home plate umpire. It's 0-1. The 0-1 brings it. Swing. Fists it back foul. Over the first base dugout into the rafters. It's 0-2. You love to knock him out, and they have to start using the bullpen early in this series. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. And you can't ignore the fact that this is the first inning, so Max Fried is being delayed by his start. So what kind of effect that may have on him? The 1-2, swing, hammers it, deep, foul, left field corner. That ball went up near the rafters. Ramon Laureano batting .240 with 8 home runs, 17 RBI. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Looked like the same pitch that he got Travis to chase on, 2 away. So 2 down. Looks like he's starting to get his feet under him. Braves will put 4 across the board if you're just joining us. Matt Olson with the big hit, 3-run home run after Merrifield had already crossed the plate. First pitch on the way to Jared Kelenic. It's a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. Kid Kelenic batting .235 with 13 home runs, 38 RBI, the 0-1. Pulled the string on that one, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Ober comes set, brings it. Swing, fouls it straight back. So you got a 1-2 count. Bailey Ober's 35th pitch of the first inning. Brings it up, swung on. That ball is lifted towards left field. Drifting over, making the catch is Manny Margot, and that'll end the inning. But out for your Atlanta Braves. Put 4 on the board. Big fly for the Ice House. We'll be back in a flash.
Lose some weight.
Oh, come on, Quigley. Will you don't give me that.
Look at me, 92, and I still enjoy swimming and golfing and biking, all sports.
Whoopee.
That too.
Come on, after all at your age, must be down to a handshake, huh?
Yep, before and after.
Look at that. The Hendersons are getting a new fence.
Ah, who cares? They're swingers.
I want a new fence.
Need a home loan fast? At the American Bank of Los Santos, we'll help you get the debt you need to make life easier. We'll show you how to look richer and be poorer. You need to impress people fast, not in 20 years. It's only a risk if you get into money troubles or the economy changes. Call American Bank of Los Santos. Now that the kids have moved out and have drug problems of their own, maybe it's time to install a luxury marble wet bar. American Bank of Los Santos. Why worry about tomorrow if you look inadequate today?
I love football. Who's your favorite player? I like them all. I like Aaron Rodgers. Never heard of him. He was the quarterback for the Jets. So is Aaron Rodgers. He tore his Achilles. So did Aaron Rodgers. Who else do you like? I like TJ Watt. Watt. Whatever. I also like Christopher McCaffrey. Christian. Really? Me too. I turned my life over to the Lord back in 2015.
Memorize this one. What if God ruined your plans so that your plans wouldn't ruin you?
That's so interesting that it would come out 90 feet. That somebody sat down, Mr. Cartwright or whoever, and said, hey, it ought to be 90 feet. It just sounded like a logical number. The fact of the matter is, in retrospect, if it were 88 feet, the game would be very different. Think of the plays at first base. Think of the double plays that wouldn't be completed on an 88-foot first base and second base. If it were 94 feet, we'd be throwing people out all over the place. Batting averages would drop remarkably. So if 90 feet was something somebody said, hey, that's a good number, that was a pick from heaven.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Max Fried goes to work. There's a bit of a delay. Home plate umpire Mark Wegner's going over. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I mean, get it together, Wegner. I'm sure the Twins would love to cancel this game. He's going over there talking to the officials in the camera well, talking about the weather. First pitch on the way, 93 right down the pipe. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty righty. Kicks and fires. Inside 1-1. Just a heads up, if there's a long rain delay, that's it. I got to be up at the crack of, I guess dawn would be the correct term on radio. The 1-1 swung on, foul back, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. It's actually well before dawn. It's dark when I leave the house. So a 1-2 count. Lefty righty. Pitch on the way. Inside, did he go around 96 miles an hour? He did not. 2-2. The 2-2. Brings it. Swing. Lifts it down the right field line. Bending. It looks like that's going to be a fair ball. Fires it into the infield, and it's a leadoff double for the Twins. So Max Fried struggling just like Ober did to get that first out. Man, you get a terrible view here at Minnesota. It just cuts it off at the wall. It wasn't until you got the second angle that you realized the ball actually did land fair. Runner on second, nobody out. Max Fried facing Royce Lewis. The first pitch on the way to Lewis is swung on, fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Good to see you, Marguerite. Good to see you, TTT. We have any other new ones? I think that was it. Braves 4, Minnesota nothing. The 0-1. Right there at the knees. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Runner at second. Max Fried, better hurry. Here's the pitch. The 0-2, wham, hit hard on third. Gio's got it, flips it over to first. A rainbow throw, easily getting Lewis, one away. That ball was smoked. Good defensive play by Gio. I am more and more impressed by this guy every single time we watch him. You know, he made some good defensive plays in the series we played against the Tigers before they released him. He was basically released because they were making room for some younger players to come up. And I think he figured he'd rather go find somewhere to play than to, as the first pitch on the way, is a bender at the knees, curveball. Looks like the runner took off. He'll take third, the stolen base. They call that a ball. That was a terrible call. It's 1-0. That ball hit right at the knees. Mark Wegner, one of the younger umpires in the league, he just got distracted. The 1-0. Swing, that ball's belted into the left field corner. Coming over, making the catch is Laureano. Here comes the runner. The throw to the plate. Good throw, but the runner will beat it by just a step. It's 4-1 Atlanta. Man, he has got an arm. 2 down. I don't know how many of y'all have seen that play that he made in Oakland years ago. When he first came up, he was on a full run to dead center field, turned around and fired an absolute hose to first to double up the runner. First pitch on the way is a curveball up top. It's 1-0. It happened right around the time that the Yasiel Puig throw happened in Fenway Park when he threw that absolute dime from the corner to home plate. The 1-0. Inside 2-0. It either happened the same year or it happened back-to-back years. I just remember thinking at the time, man, they got some arms out there. The 2-0 count. Brings it. 95 inside. Got the call, 2-1. Carlos Santana playing first tonight. He DHs quite a bit. Batting .237, 18 home runs, 55 RBI, a .747 OPS. The 2-1 from Fried. Swing and a miss. Cutter down below. 2-2. Good to see you, Jesse. The 2-2. Fried brings it. Curveball. Got him! Bending curveball up top, and he knew it. That'll end the inning. Minnesota puts one on the board, but your Atlanta Braves lead it 4-1 heading to the second.
You don't like Drake? How could you not like Drake?
Who's Drake?
Who's Drake?
Drake is good.
I told you the Drake was bad. I hate the Drake.
Now I want to ask you about, wouldn't you rather have this name spelled G-O-O-S-H, the phonetic spelling, rather than all the S's, W's, and Z's?
Gives him some character, though.
G-W-O-S-D-Z is the spelling, but it's pronounced Goosh.
Well, his nickname is iChart, and you can understand that. It's about 72 points on the Scrabble board.
Well, then he ought to make a great umpire when he retires as a player. Pitch a bit low. Goosh, he's been around. I remember that name with other teams. He's been with Walla Walla, Reno, Amarillo, Hawaii, and San Diego. That evens a count, a ball, and a strike.
Did you go to many games in Walla Walla?
I like the name of it. It's one of my favorite towns. Do you know what Walla Walla spelled backwards sounds like? Allah, Allah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I learn something every day working with you.
How'd we get started on this silly stuff?
You just robbed a house. You have all this great stuff that now belongs to you, but you got this annoying pang of guilt nagging at you. Well, worry no more, because your friends at Cell Block Greeting Cards have the answer for you. Introducing our new line of petty crime thank you cards. Before you smash and grab one of our cards and leave it behind on your next heist. Choose from any of these fine heartfelt cards like
thank you for the plasma TV,
or
thanks for the PlayStation, alcohol, and penny jar,
and
don't use your toothbrush.
For a limited time, introducing
I'm Still in the House.
And many more sentimental petty crime thank you cards. Available at any back alley, shadowy parking lot, or
armchair.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. We had a disaster in the studio. 0-1 count. First pitch on the way. Up top to Urshela. Off the 0-1 and misses high. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Righty-righty matchup. Gio Urshela batting .245. The pitch swung on. Comebacker to the mound. Ober, good stab, grabs it. Flips it to first. 1-3 put out, 1 down. Bailey Ober has a 6-pitch arsenal, but he only has used 5 so far this year. He used to throw the sinker last year. He's not done it this year. First pitch on the way to Arcia is going to be an easy 6-3 put out. 1 pitch, 1 out, 2 down. You hate to see that from Arcia. Swinging a soft bat, you want to see him at least go up there and eat some pitches. Talk about it all the time, but that comes down to the coaching staff. Ober, he's got the 4-seam fastball that you've seen him strike out a couple of guys on. He usually tops out around 92. He'll see that 39% of the time. First 4-seam to Merrifield is outside wide. It's 1-0. Merrifield 1 for 1 with the run scored. He throws the changeup 27% of the time, and then the cutter 21, the 1-0. 4-seam miss, but he got the call. It's 1-1. Then you'll see the slider at about 12% of the time. He just throws that curveball to keep you honest. The 1-1, outside wide, 2-1. That curveball, you'll see it maybe 1%. I mean, he'll throw it just a few times in a game. The 2-1 count. Righty-righty. The pitch to Merrifield. Swing. That ball's laced towards right field. Drifting back. It's going to go off the wall. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. Whit Merrifield's coming around first. He'll stand at second. And it's a 2-out double for the ice cream man. Braves lead it 4-1. Someone was asking about the Max Fried arsenal. And yes, he does have. So every night I go to set this up, I have to write in this little. It's basically like a grease board, right? And I've got enough room that if a guy has 6 pitches, I've got room. Max, I always have to write off to the side because he's got 7. First pitch on the way to Soler. It's outside wide. Did he go around? They looked down first. He did not. It's 1-0. Soler walked his first time up. A base hit would get the Braves once again a 4-run lead. Max Fried, what you'll see, we'll go more over it when he comes to the mound, but he's pretty evenly split with about 5 of those pitches. The 1-0, down and away, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Righty-righty, runner at second. The pitch on the way to Soler. High and out of the zone, cutter misses. 3-0. That cutter really was kind of flat. If that thing's just a little lower, Soler probably puts a little Soler power into it, because those are the kind of cutters that usually leave the yard. The 3-0 brings it down and away. Did he call that a... Okay, it is ball 4. Soler had such a long delay. I thought maybe he called it a strike, but he did not. It's a 4-pitch walk. And your Atlanta Braves bring Marcell Ozuna. Man, could he really put this game out of reach with one swing here. First pitch to Marcell, swung on, fouled straight back. It's 0-1. First and second. 2 outs. The 0-1 from Ober. Swing, hammers it down the third base line. That's going to get inside the line and fair. It's into the left field corner. Merry-go-round easily scores, and it's 5-1 Atlanta. Soler to third, Ozuna to second. It's an RBI double. Soler's bent over. I'm hoping he's just a little out of breath and not anything worse. Hard hit ball, worm burner just past the diving glove of Jose Miranda, the third baseman. Bailey Ober now at 49 pitches. We get a single here, we might knock him out of the game. That'll bring Matt Olson to the plate. Olson went bonzo his first time up, 3-run home run. They're going to have a quick chat out there with Ober. While we do that, we take a real quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Houston is leading Philadelphia 2-1 in Philly. They have a 3-game series, so it is all go Stros the next 3 days in Braves country. Cubs lead Pittsburgh 3-2. Cubs jumped out to a 3-0 lead. It is now 3-2. I still have a hard time seeing Dansby Swanson in another uniform standing at the plate. And it's been a while, but he doesn't look right. Back to the action. First pitch on the way to Olson is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0, righty-lefty. Olson 3-run shot his first time up. Ober brings it, misses it, 2-0. 2-0 count. The pitch on the way. Swing. That ball's hammered through the infield. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. 1 run will score at 6-1. 2 runs will score at 7-1. And Matt Olson with a 2 RBI double on top of that home run. It's 7-1 Bravos. Wow. Holy smokes. This offense is woken up tonight. This is not where you typically expect to see the Braves offense to wake up. Typically, when they go on a road trip, as the first pitch on the way, swing, that ball is blasted deep into the seats. She gone! Ram-a-lam-a-ding-dong! Travis d'Arnaud with a 2-run bomb! It's 14th of the year, 439 happy feet, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 9-1 lead here in the Twin City. Wow. Life comes at you in a hurry. Bailey Ober is getting absolutely pounded. That went into the upper deck. They're going to leave him out there. I thought for sure that was it for him. First pitch on the way to Laureano is up high and out of the zone. I guess there comes a point where you're like, well, you spit the bit, and now you're going to have to go out there and eat pitches. The 1-0. Swing, pops it up, high in the sky, coming in, center field, rushing in, making the catch is their center fielder, Martin. Three defenders converged on it. It was almost a collision. We'll be back in a flash. Braves lead it 9-1.
Oh, it is a good makeup day. And it looks like a good hair day because you can't see the grease under the hat. Pro tip.
Slide here is your ex. But if that's the call, Mike, Will, and Sam all have to know they're shifting. Open palms and post, thumbs ups and crosser, thumbs downs and out. Trevor, why don't you get up here and draw that for us?
Playing in the NFL is hard, but playing
Armchair.
fantasy football is easy.
Fantasy football time.
You won't let me draft the players I want to play. It's fantasy football, so the Hulk should be able to be on the team.
You go 14 times and only win one time, it leaves a little sting. But I've said this, I know it's going to sound weird, but I've said this, if I had to go back to the future and know what the results were going to be and trade with the Marlins, who won twice and only went twice, I wouldn't do it. At the 14 times, still thinking that maybe fate might change, going 14 years in a row is pretty incredible.
Armchair.
It is played everywhere. In parks and playgrounds and prison yards, in back alleys and farmers' fields, by small boys and old men, raw amateurs and millionaire professionals. It is a leisurely game that demands blinding speed. The only game in which the defense has the ball. It follows the seasons, beginning each year with the fond expectancy of springtime and ending with the hard facts of autumn. Americans have played baseball for more than 200 years. While they conquered a continent, warred with one another and with enemies abroad, struggled over labor and civil rights and the meaning of freedom.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio with Mac Magee, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Well, that's it. We're in a weather delay. I'm not playing this game tonight. Atlanta Braves lead at 9-1. They'll probably drag this out as the rain is coming down. So, y'all have a good night, Braves country. Got to be up early, like I said, and if there was going to be any kind of a wet weather delay, that would be it. So, they got the tarps on the field. Looking at and what they're saying on the Minnesota broadcast is they hope to get it started sometime soon, but I've played that game way too many times. Typically we would sit through here, but we gone 9-1. Hopefully they don't call the game, because if they end up playing a doubleheader tomorrow of sort, we'll try to bring you the first game. Depends on what time I can get home. But Braves lead at 9-1. I'm sure it'll be a good win. And y'all have a great night, Braves country. Braves 9, Twins 1. Sayonara.